Okay.
Alright.
3, 2, 1. Hello, good evening, everyone. So today we are going to explain about our final project, object-oriented programming. So here we made a simple Python project that we implement, such as abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphisms. So our project, we made a simple payment on how the payment system works, similar like that. So you may run the main program, Zosa.
Alright.
Okay. And then you will ask for input. Try to input, like, maybe, for example, 5,000.
So for the abstraction,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
alright.
And then we are given two methods. That is, the first one is to to pay with credit cards, and the second one is with QRIS. So both of the options uses an abstraction for payment. So the payment, since the payment is using as abstractions, so you may start explain what the abstraction does in the payment class, Josa. You may start explain now.
Alright, for this abstraction, it allows programs to define a common interface that multiple classes can follow without specific or subclasses perform internally. This function here, payment ABC, returns abstract this class. This indicates that payment is intended to serve as a blueprint rather than a class for creating objects directly. And next, we have second function here. This is constructed to initialize a common attribute named Jumlah, which is source to the payment method. Since every payment method requires the transaction amount, this attribute is shared by all subclasses. So the most important these abstracts is the abstract method here. Proses pembayaran function. Whereas the character requires every subclasses to provide its own implementation of the proses pembayaran method. This the abstract class defines what operation must exist, but it does not define how the operation should be executed. For example, credit card short payment requires card validation and authorization, whereas QRIS payment here, like for the second choice, and then to payment because this processes differ significantly. Is subclasses implement different methods. And the last is that for tampilkan total function, this method already contains complete implementation, performance, and display the total payment amount. Since this functionality is individual for every payment method, it is defined once in abstract class and inherited by subclasses, avoiding this is for avoiding code duplication. Right. Uh, so overall, this provides a common structure for all payment methods. Okay, thank you,
Okay,
Rafi.
there was a very good explanation regarding the abstraction. Thank you very much, Sosa. Uh, First, and then let's say that if we pick the first option, that is credit card, so the how it works is will be explained by Abi about the inheritance, and then Gavin that will explain about the polymorphisms. So Abi, you may start explaining what the inheritance in credit card class does. You may start now.
Okay, so inheritance is used so that classes can inherit data structure and behavior from their parent class. So that's for inheritance, and for the
Mm-hmm.
character Gavin.
Mm-hmm, that's very good. How about the polymorphism?
Yeah. Polymorphism in polymorphism in credit card happens the class is operating with the abstract method, which proses pembayaran. Just give it the shape of the payment is the method pembayaran process in class payment only a blank logic without it use abstract method. And in the class kartu credit method change the shape to handle logic. Yeah. And the execution of the pembayaran process pembayaran executed with our cashier system or not without knowing the data. Or let's just summarize it. By applying the polymorphism in the kartu credit, the code will be highly flexible if we want to add new payment method, for example, transfer bank or pay later. We simply need to create a new class that overrides the pembayaran without having to change the main logic. That's all.
Okay, that was a very good explanation from Gavin about polymorphisms. So lastly, that is the second option for the payment methods. That is Curious. The Curious is a class that we made, and it will be explained by Ghossan. So you may proceed, Ghos.
All right. So the curious class. The curious class is the child class of the payment method, and basically the curious class it operates identical to the credit card class. So pretty much everything said in the credit card class is pretty much already explained for the curious class. So the only main difference is that the curious class, just like in real life, is a much more simpler transaction method compared to the credit card. So has much less code and all that. So there's only two really short functions here, which is the underscore init underscore init jumlah, with which what it does is that it inherits from the payment class and passes the jumlah value using super. And then there's the process pembayaran to self class, which will answer itself in ball. And what it does is that it overrides the abstract method. Instead of validating a card number, this function simulates generating a QR code, which this is just a made up QR code, waiting for the user's e-wallet to scan it and resolving the transaction.
Okay, that was a very good explanation, Ghost. So that's overall all our classes about abstraction, polymorphisms, and inheritance. So that's our first simple program for our final projects. So I guess that's all about explaining about the presentation for our final project. So I guess that's all. Thank you very much.
Right. Now I would like to demonstrate how the application works. First, we have to run this program. Alright. The program then presents two available payment methods. And for this, I will enter, for example, one and so on. Alright. The program will present two available payment methods. For the first method is card to credit and second is Curious. Alright, let's be scenario 1. Use credit card. First I'll just create the card and enter 1. And then, for example, I will enter my credit card. This is a dummy credit card. Alright. The application creates card to credit object and displays a total bill. Then the system validates the card number since the number valid is calculated at administrative fee of 2,500 rupiah and displays total amount to be charged. And I will enter Y and then to confirm the payment. So the transaction is successfully authorized, and finally the application displays a thank you message indicating that payment has been completed successfully. And then for the second scenario, we are using QRIS, and I put here the same amount. And then for the option 2, we have QRIS, e-wallet, or m-banking. And then the system automatically generates the unique QRIS transaction ID and displays a simulated QR code with the payment amount. The application then waits for payment confirmation. To simulate the payment, I type scan. Nice. The system receives the confirmation, verifies the payment, and completes the transaction without charging any administrative fee. Finally, the program displays a success message and thanks the customer. And then for the demonstration error handling, this is like this. Also, application for this visual. For example, I'm not entering the total for shopping, and it will ping like this until we enter the amount like this. Okay, it's the same like this one. If nothing to choose, then the program will end. So, in conclusion, this application demonstrates the four main object-oriented programming principles. The first one is abstraction, and the second one is inheritance, and polymorphism, and encapsulation. This payment method has in-out implementation while sharing the same common interface provided by the abstract payment class. This design makes the program modular, reusable, and easy to extend with additional payment methods.